everyone, welcome back to another video here on Jeff the IT Guy. Today we're going to be taking a look at this case. I really want to do a dedicated video to this case. This is the Bitfenix Prodigy M 2022. We did a video of a build vlog, kind of like a vlog, in which, I really didn't talk through some music and I just built this machine. And so if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it because it'll put this video in context for you. And so, the hardware inside's got like a 3060 Ti, 5600X, B550 motherboard, stuff like that. I'll have the specs and links down in the description, but what I wanted to really focus on in this video was this case. And for one of the reasons for that is because this is a very, I think, unique case. It's a larger case, but it has some nuances. And so this is a follow-up to the Bitfenix Prodigy from like 2012 or so. Which was an ITX case, and then they made an MATX case version. The Bitfenix Prodigy ITX case was a great case. It was very well received. The Prodigy M did okay, and this is sort of a refresh on that to try and bring it back to the forefront with some modern features. And so one of the things, of course, is this side panel. This is tempered glass side panel. It's 3 millimeters thick. Because everything has to have glass these days. Because you're not really PC unless you've got glass. If you don't have a glass side panel, you're not cool. But it comes off like that, and it opens up into the case area. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to get up on the machine so that we can get some better views. And I really want to show you what it is that I'm talking about with these cases, like what I approve of and what I don't approve of, and ultimately if you should get this case or not. Okay, so we've got the case on its side, so that I can show you some of the things that I was talking about earlier. So for example, the handles here, these are like this plastic, they flex, they're flexi plastic or something. They do come off, which you need to take off if you build in this. But I want to show you this right here. So this is your fans, and this has room for 220 or 240 millimeter fans in the top up here. And then you've got your GPU. Now this GPU is kind of thick. It's like 2.5 slots, something like that. But there's not a whole lot of space. You see how much space is right there? Well, this case is supposed to support a water cooling. You're not going to be able to put an AIO up there and have your pump come down to the CPU, which is a shame. They could have made this a little bit taller, I do believe, and been in a better position. But it inverts everything, so everything's actually flip-flopped upside down, and so you've got your GPU up here turned sideways, or inverted, flip-flopped, and then everything else just kind of follows it down. So it's kind of like if you took the case and just turned it over. Here in the front, you've got your power supply. It can support, larger power supplies. The Seasonic Focus isn't a huge power supply by any means. However, it does kind of it's a very tight fit. I don't know if you can see how tight of a fit that is, but it's a very tight fit between this power supply and the motherboard and everything else. So, may have been better to see something like a little different, but I understand that they're working with a case layout that they've got. So it is what it is. They're working with what they've got. So if I turn this around, let me let you see this. See here in the bottom, it's supposed to support two 120 millimeter fans. If you've seen the video, I can tell you right now that any high quality fans or something like the SP120s here with a thick shroud around the fan, you cannot put two of them right there. It will not fit. Also, you can't fit an AIO right there as well. It's just not big enough. Just a little bit of lengthening of this case would have made it to where you could have put an AIO down here. The pump, you wouldn't want to, though, because it would kill your pump eventually. But you could have, if you wanted to. You could have put something down here or at least had two fans that were pushing air in, pulling air out, something, instead of it not being that big unless you use some cheaper quality fans, something that doesn't have a big shroud. So there's that. I think they completely missed the mark on that. If you'll notice here, I mean, you do have some grommeting. This is a pretty expensive case. This is like $120, $130. You could have put some rubber grommets right there, Bitfenix. You didn't have to leave it open. You could have afforded some rubber grommets. Not that big of a deal. Show you the bottom of it. It does have like an ATX pass-through cable. So it comes through here and goes into the power supply like so. This is in case you've got a larger power supply. You have to pull it out here, come out through here, and plug it in. Which, I mean, you can't see it whenever it's sitting on the bottom. It does fix it. So, or I mean, it does cover it up, which isn't bad. So if we turn it over to the back here, I'm going to show you this. So this right here, this fan can be removed via this bracket, and it's got a bracket for a vertical GPU mount. However, that vertical GPU is actually upside down. So, I don't know. But it does work like that. And if you do it that way, if you use the vertical GPU mount and you get the riser cable, then you can put an AIO in the top of this case, which is really cool. However, after spending $120, $130 on a case, you should have included, the riser cable. You just really should have. But there's a lot, like I said, it's okay though. And then here's the top. It's got this fan filter. The top though is pretty neat in a way. So this top here, you can take this fan filter out, and this is actually a bracket here under the fan filter. This is a bracket for the fans. You can take this out, and the case comes with a glass insert. So a glass top panel that you can put in if you're wanting to be super cool and put it in there, but you can't use the fans with it. So sucks to suck, I guess. Here's the front. It's mesh. You can put like a 120 in here, but it comes with a 60 millimeter. So it is what it is. Let's talk about the rear here, or this other side. So this is where your I/O is. This I/O, except for the power switch, like the power switch and reset, and the audio, is stuck to this side panel. So those come off. These three do, which is pretty cool because you can run it and then, get it ready. But everything is behind this. And I'll try to take this side panel off. I'm probably going to regret. Actually, I'm not going to. If it comes off, listen. You can just I'll throw in some footage from the other video. I'm not taking it off. I'm not taking the side panel off. I'll never be able to get it back on. It is insane how difficult it is to build in this case. So if I turn it around here, and you look at this, it took probably twice as long to build in this case as anything I've probably ever built in a long time. And the reason for that is because you have to be strategic about how you build. After you put in the motherboard, actually you have to completely tear down the case first, then put your motherboard in, and then from there you have to run all the cables. So you have to be strategic. You have to run them strategically, run all the cables, and then you install the fans, run all the fans, and then you install the power cables, run all them, then you can put in the power supply, and after you put in the power supply and connect everything, then you have to cable manage it, and make sure you don't forget to run your graphics card fan or power cable, and then maybe, if you've done it right, you can install the graphics card. But you have to install everything on the back panel first. This graphics card is the last thing that you can put in. You have to run everything from the back panel first. So everything else has to be ready to go. You have to cable manage, and then you can put in this graphics card, and after that, you're good to go. It took forever. It was unapologetically hard to build in this case. Unapologetically. It was insanity. I would not recommend this case to anyone who's going to try and build it like this at all. If you're going to get the riser cable and invert the GPU to where it goes down here, and then you can run an AIO up here, you know, it'd be all right. It's going to look pretty cool. It's going to look cool, but you are going to have a pretty challenging time building in this. If you're looking for a challenging build and you want something that's small like this, there's not a whole lot of great MATX cases, unfortunately, out on the market right now. But if you really want the MATX form factor, I mean, your options are limited. It's this, the Fractal Meshify Compact, and like one or two others. You know, I would prefer the Compact over this. It's a lot easier to build in, and it's like $40 cheaper. But this case does look cool. It does have a cool side panel and everything. So it does have a lot of things going for it. There just needs to be some tweaks to make it a little bit more builder friendly and to really make the ideas that they had work. Like, it's just, there's just something about it that makes it extremely difficult to build in this case. Like, I can't put two fans down here. What if I wanted two fans down here? What if I wanted more airflow? You know, it's got all the stuff in the front to where you could put a 240 millimeter AIO, but you've got your power supply there. There's just a lot of decisions that could have been made that would have made this case a lot better for people to use and for people to build in. And I think it really misses the mark on that. So if you're looking for an MATX case, you don't have a big graphics card and you want to invert it, you know, you want something unique, then I say, yeah, go ahead and buy this. Be prepared, though, for a challenge. Don't expect that you're just going to throw everything in there and it's going to work. Be ready that you're going to have a challenge on your hand. If you're an inexperienced builder, I would not buy this case if you're inexperienced. But, you know, if you're going to put like a 5700G in here and not a graphics card, it's not going to really be that big of a deal. You're going to have plenty of room in here for that. And so it looks cool. It's a great looking case. Sometimes it's vanity before practicality in this case. See what I did there? So listen, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a great holiday season. And go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, tell me if you built in this case before, and leave a subscribe. And I will talk to you all later. Thank you very much, and keep it real.